If you want a guaranteed method to become the best top sales rep at your company, month over month, quarter after quarter, year after year, it's very simple. It's get 1% better every single day. That's it. Now, there's lots of ways you can do that. You can listen to podcasts, you can watch videos, you can attend courses, take courses, seminars. But one really great way to do that is to read books. In today's video, I'm going to share with you 3 books that I've read multiple times over and over again that's helped me to be successful in my sales career. And I promise you, if you read these books too and follow the strategies, they apply to you. So what I'm going to share with you is 2 books here. 2 are sales books, and 1 is a kind of a mindset book. So I'll start with the first one. You might know this book. It's called New Sales Simplified by a gentleman named Mike Weinberg. And this is a book for just a general way to be able to approach sales, whether you're doing you're prospecting into new accounts, whether you're running prospecting, running accounts and running demos, how to follow up, how to bring in stakeholders, how to run a whole full sales cycle. It's full sales cycle. That's what it's all about. With a heavy emphasis of, well, it's a heavy, but there's emphasis on generating new pipelines, self-sourcing your own deals. So, as you know, as an AE, if you want to be able to start building your own pipeline, this is the book too, but also tells you how to run those deals throughout the full sales cycle. And I love this book because it's simple. Hence the term simplified, right? I read so many sales books and they're just chock with so much fluff that's like, hey man, is that necessary? We need to talk about all this to get to the point. And Mike writes to the point. And this great chapter was one chapter of the book that I really want to just share with you. It's called this. Chapter 2 says, the not so sweet 16 reasons salespeople fail to do new business generation, new business development, prospecting, building pipeline for themselves. And he says here is reason number 2 is they're waiting on their company. It means that sales fail to develop new business, generate new pipeline for themselves because they're waiting for the company to do something, to marketing to come in, some initiatives to come in, or somebody to hand them a bone, something. They're waiting for warm leads to come in. But top performers in sales don't wait for anything or anyone. Top performers act. In fact, it says here, they proactively attack targeted accounts. Waiting is a key ingredient to the recipe for new business failure, which means if you're waiting around for your company to do something for you in some capacity, it's kind of a recipe for failure. So the flip side is to be proactive. There's lots more in this book. Highly recommend it. Like I said, it's going to really, really great for being able to do a full sales cycle with a heavy emphasis of self-sourcing your own deals as an AE. So a great book to read. Number 2 book is called Sometimes You Win and Sometimes You Learn. It's by a gentleman named John C. Maxwell. And the whole premise of the book is that there's this kind of saying, as you know, it's like, well, hey, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, right? And John's like, well, no, change that philosophy, change that belief. So sometimes you win and sometimes you lose. It means that basically sometimes you win deals, sometimes you close deals, you win the big logos, you bring in the whale, you bring the whatever deal that you've been working on for 3, 4, 5 months, 6 months, a year. And sometimes you don't. Sometimes last minute they go with the competitors. Sometimes they say we're not ready yet. Sometimes the budget falls through. Sometimes your champion leaves the company. All these things could happen. You lose the deal. You don't get the payoff. What do you do? Sometimes you make cold calls and it works out wrong. What do you do? Well, John Maxwell's saying is that you should frame it as sometimes you're going to win, sometimes you're going to learn. And he says here in the book, right? One chapter of the book says here, so that a loss isn't totally a loss if you learn something as a result of it. He says a loss doesn't turn into a lesson unless we work hard to make it so. Losing gives you an opportunity to learn, but many people don't seize it. I can recall multiple times in my sales career where I lost and have to learn from it. And I think in your case, if you look at all the ones, sometimes we look at the close one deals and we kind of pass off in the back, and which is good. But the real growth, I believe, happens when we really focus on our losses and reflect upon it. He also says here, right? I love what he says here. He says, if you see things the right way, losses are opportunities to change and improve. The only real misfortune he reserves, the only real tragedy comes when we suffer without learning the lesson. That's a tragedy. If you don't learn the lesson. I'll give you an example. So, working as a BDR mid-market, and I jumped into a sales org where I was doing account-based selling for the first time. I was usually doing more SMB, really leads-driven sales, but BDR mid-market account-based selling is different than I'm used to doing it. Came into the organization, thought I knew it all, and I struggled. I struggled for a long time. And what I learned from it all was that through that struggle, I learned that I need to adopt, I call it a white belt mentality. A white belt mentality is when you learn from a beginner's mindset. No matter how many years you have in sales, whatever you're doing it, each day you're doing it with a fresh new perspective, and you're receptive to new ideas and trying things that maybe you haven't tried in the past. That's how I learned from that struggle, that 8 months, 9 months struggle to finally level up and become successful. So that's key. Sometimes you lose, sometimes you win, sometimes you learn. Remember that. And the last book I want to share with you, probably my favorite sales book of all time. It's kind of a little bit unknown one, but it's called Power Phone Scripts. Now, this book is a great book, especially if you're doing inside sales, tech sales. It's a great book because it frames people that are kind of working remotely, working from home, or working in an office where hopping on a Zoom call and you're calling from an outreach or an ORM, and you're kind of hopping on Zooms and working your deals that way, all from the computer base. This is really good for. And the book is chock with a lot of advice of how to be successful, mostly over the phone, running demos, cold calling, stuff like that. But there's also the first chapter of the book is called How to Be a Top Performer, the 10 characteristics of a top performer. And Mike Brooks, great book, he has 10 things. I won't go through all of them, but I'll read you some of the ones he has here that are the top characteristics of a top performer. For example, characteristic number 3, record and critique your calls for 90 days. It means that go on a gong every day. You have your demos, your whatever it is, your qualification calls, discovery calls, gong calls. Listen to them every day. Listen to them because it says here, he said that nothing can help you double your income in 90 days faster than recording and critiquing your calls each day. And it's a quick tip, right? A good thing you can do when you're doing this is that you can also use ChatGPT. Copy the gong call in Gong, whatever else you use. Take that transcript, put it in ChatGPT, and ask it a question. Say, hey, I'm looking to get better in doing my demonstrations, my presentations, my demos. Tell me 3 things I did well and 3 things I need to improve upon. And the ChatGPT just transcribe that, and it's amazing. If you do it every single time on calls, you'll get immensely better. But one thing I want to focus on now is characteristic from the book. Characteristic number 9, it says resign from the company club. It says, what I mean by this is that you have to stay away from the group of salespeople in your office who do nothing but grumble about how bad or unfair things are in the company, or about how bad the economy is or the industry. It says these performers, these sales reps, you should stay away from. They complain and whine about everything, anything. The leads are bad. The marketing is doing a crappy job. Leads are going on to top performers. The product sucks. The pricing is too high. The warranty is not good. The duration. They grumble about the opposite politics. The phone system, the computers, the desk, the noise. They grumble about the commission structure, the salary, the benefits, and the bonuses that they don't have or didn't have. Basically, they're generally lazy, bored, uninterested, and they set a low standard and drag everyone who will be around them down with that level. The company club. To avoid them. You have to avoid them. This is a great book, right? I read this like once or twice a year. Every time I read it, it's just a refresher to just give me that refreshment, especially the first chapter. It's probably the best first chapter of a sales book I've ever read. So that's it. Hope you enjoyed these 3 books. Check them out. Also, if you want to learn more about how to do self-sourcing deals in pipeline, I ask you to offer a free on-demand webinar you can watch by clicking the link below. And it's a free 23-minute video that walks you through high level how to self-source deals and generate pipeline for yourself with 7 proven strategies. So if that helps you in any way or interests you in any way, I invite you to check out the below's video. Click on that. We're listening on Apple Podcasts. Click the link below on the podcast player, and you get instant access to the webinar, giving you 7 proven strategies to generate, self-source your own deals and build pipeline fast within your sales position in your sales role. On that, take care. I'll be blessed, and check out these books. They're good. Check them out.